let's dive on to this and let's see what Webster had to say. Webster says, resilience is no more than the ability to recover. See, there's the key word, recover. As a recovering alcoholic, I can understand that word recovery. I can understand what that means. What it means is I got to put one foot in front of myself, 1 foot every day, making one step towards progress. I understood recovery meant this. You're not at the station where you're going to end. You're just at the station passing through. Ability to recover from or adjust easily from misfortune or change. I think about what the pandemic did to us. I can hear Dr. Bruce on the day of March 19th. I'm sitting in my home and I'm perplexed. What would I do? I make my whole living talking to people. Maryland has a quarantine order and lock in place. And I remember listening every day to what was going on. I remember getting telephone calls every day saying, we're canceling the conference in Puerto Rico. We're canceling the conference in Florida. Hey, we're going to cancel that training we're doing in Miami. We're not going to be in Denver. And I remember the phone just kept ringing. Well, after about 30 days, you start thinking, what am I going to do? Dr. Bruce came to my mind. He said, I believe in you. Folks, I took the man cave that was in my house and turned it into a studio. I bought the lights and the camera because I wanted to be resilient. I wanted to pivot. I wanted to change directions. I wanted to recover from this thing that had happened. And I called every one of my clients up and said, I'll give you a 30-minute to an hour free session on team building since we're in remote settings. That year, my business tripled because I was first willing to get out of my comfort zone, try something new, become resilient, but more importantly, don't miss the message. I was willing to give, just like you, just like your credit union has done. That's why you take this message back and you remember, you're the leader. The leader creates the environment. The leader sets the stage. And that's exactly what you do. Allow me to go through this quick model that I love. I think about this as the model of resiliency for me, right? It's about advancing despite adversity. Advancing despite adversity. See, when you're goal-oriented, it doesn't matter what happens because that's called the journey. I'm in the journey to get to the mark, and I enjoy the process. See, I'm going to advance because listen to what Les Brown said. Les Brown said, I pray that if you get knocked on your back, that if you can look up, you can get up. I've heard it said oftentimes, if you must fall forward. You're closer to your goal. You see, that's who we are. We're resilient people. Tough times come, but resilient people outlast them. I know you're resilient here today. Here's why I know you're resilient. Because you've been in this fight for a while. I met some of you this past week at breakfast and at happy hour, and I got to tell you, you didn't know I was interviewing you. I was asking you a lot of questions, and you began to share, and this is what I learned about you. This is who you are. You advance despite what's going on. And you ready? Despite the setbacks, despite the condition, despite the news, despite the hurricane, despite the tornado, despite the inflation rate, despite the resignation of the CEO that you thought was going to stay forever, despite that lawsuit that you got to go back and deal with because somebody did something wrong. Despite all those things, you're an overcomer. I told you, I believe in you. You must believe in yourself. If you can't believe in yourself, borrow the belief that I have into you until you can see in what I see in you because you're champions. I've walked with you. I've talked with you. Matter of fact, I even watched some of you gamble a little bit next to me. Hope you won. My point is, despite all, keep moving forward because adversity is coming. Adversity is a way of life.